Shut up and sit down.
Hi guys, welcome to Split Decision Boxing. I hope you like this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe and comment and like. So news just in. It's been announced this morning that Anthony Joshua's new opponent for the 1st of June fight at Madison Square Garden is going to be Andy Ruiz Jr. I'm not sure how much you know about Andy Ruiz Jr. I didn't know an awful lot about him. I've had a little look at his record and some of his fights and found out what I could. And these are my thoughts. So let's get the stats out of the way first. It has only just been announced by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and everybody associated with it. So just a quick comparison of the two. So Andy Ruiz Jr., alias a Destroyer, is 29 years old, same age as AJ. So nothing between them there. He's from Imperial, California, USA. He's fighting out of the USA and Mexico. Height 6'2" against Anthony Joshua's 6'6", so he's given away 4 inches in height. That's quite a lot to give away. Reach 74 inches, AJ's reach 82. So not only is he giving away 4 inches in height, he's given away 8 inches in reach. 33 fights for Ruiz and 22 fights for AJ, and 32 wins for Ruiz, 22 wins for AJ. As you know, he got a 100% win record. Andy Ruiz Jr. has got just the one loss. Now that one loss actually was against Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker is the only guy so far to take Anthony Joshua the distance. So I mean, it shows you what a credible opponent Parker obviously is as well. Interesting that's his only loss. And that fight was in Parker's home country. It was a majority decision, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on. 21 knockouts for both of them. Obviously, Joshua's fought a lot fewer fights, so his percentage. There's a big difference in the knockout percentage of 64% for Ruiz Jr. And 95%. With that for AJ, with only one fight of his 22 that hasn't ended in a stoppage. Total rounds fought 144 rounds for Andy Ruiz Jr. versus 84 rounds for AJ. So you could look at it and say, in terms of ring experience, fight experience, Andy Ruiz Jr. has got more, but you have to look at the quality of the opponents that they've fought, and there's no doubt about it. AJ has fought a much higher class of opponent, in his last fights, last half dozen or so fights. So as I said, his only loss was to Joseph Parker, and that was on a majority decision, and that was actually for the vacant WBO title at the time. He was aiming to try and become Mexico's first ever heavyweight world champion. Unfortunately, he failed. And as I said, interestingly, AJ went the distance with Parker and got a unanimous decision win. So, Parker's a very, very durable guy, isn't he? I think that would have made a great rematch. If they could have got that one on, that would have been fantastic. Ruiz's last fight was literally last weekend, on the 20th of April, and he beat Alexander Dimitrenko Uh, so that's great. He's going to be certainly going to be fit. AJ's last fight was 22nd of September last year, where he beat Alexander Povetkin on a technical knockout. So I've looked at Ruiz. Physically, I think if you compare him to AJ, who's obviously a sculpted, got this athletic physique and huge muscles and no fat on him. If you look at Ruiz, he's certainly not like that. He looks like he's overweight. He looks like he's carrying a bit too much weight. My personal opinion is that he's made for AJ. He's smaller, shorter reach. He looks heavy, which makes me think he's going to be slower on his feet, and easier to hit. He's fought lesser class opponents. However, he does appear to have very fast hands. Listening to Eddie Hearn talk earlier today, and he was saying that the reason they wanted after Miller, they wanted Ruiz Jr. was because they feel he's going to give Hearn a better fight and a tougher test. I think Ruiz, looking at his other fights, I think he will come forward, and he will want a war. I think he's going to be possibly similar to Dillian White in terms of style, in terms of constantly just coming forward. So Hearn, interestingly, said that they picked Ruiz because of his fighting style, and that he will give AJ a much tougher test, and actually a tougher test than Miller would have done. Well, if that's the case, why didn't they offer him the fight before Miller? He said, Ortiz, turned out to be a waste of time. The others just weren't good enough. He was talking about Ruiz, and he also pointed out, and I agree, looking at some of the fights, the Ruiz is also very good on the inside. So if he can get AJ against the ropes or into a corner and work him, rough him up on the inside, he might provide a good fight. As I said, he will become, if he wins, Mexico's first ever heavyweight world champion. If he can beat AJ, and that's a huge if. Just going back and touching on what Hearn was saying about Ortiz, he made two offers to Ortiz's camp. One was for £6 million, which was turned down, and then he gave him an improved offer of £7 million, and that was turned down. I just think in the modern world, everyone who's turned down the opportunity to fight AJ based on the purse and based on the split are idiots. Because why wouldn't anyone with any ambition to become a heavyweight champion of the world rip Hearn's arm off to get that fight? Because if you genuinely believe in your heart that you're good enough to beat AJ, good enough to become a four-belt world champion, and subsequently go on and probably or possibly beat Deontay Wilder and become the unified heavyweight champion of the world, what does it matter if they're offering you what you feel perhaps isn't what you want? If they're offering you, well, in Ortiz's case, 7 million. Jesus Christ, who wouldn't want £7 million? I understand that Dillian White was offered 4 million. I don't know how true that is, but even a much reduced purse of £4 million for the chance to win those belts, unify the title, defend your title and go on to untold earnings where you call the shots and you get the majority split of the fight purse, there's only one reason you probably have turned it down, and that's maybe, as Hearns actually just said in his video that I just watched, you don't think you're good enough. You don't think you can beat AJ. That's it. So fair play to Ruiz, you know. Whatever he's been offered, whatever deal has been on the table, I understand that he said, I don't care what the deal is, I'll fight him, I'll fight anybody because I want to be a world title. And you know, massive respect to Ruiz for that. You know, that's a fighter's heart. That's a guy who believes in himself and believes this is, you know, as Eminem says, if you had just one shot, would you take it? Well, yeah, he is, and I take my hat off. Ruiz says that he believes that he had the belt taken from him when he fought Parker. The fact that it was taken and it was in Parker's hometown, and they didn't get the decision. That's the only reason that he wasn't already the WBO heavyweight champion of the world. That may be the case. Who knows? He's had a 12-week training camp before fighting Dimitrenko. So we know he's going to be ring fit, match fit. In terms, you know, it didn't matter that he's I guess been a late addition to the AJ fight. He's already going to be in peak condition. He's just got to stay in the gym, keep doing the training routines, keep doing the sparring and the pads and everything else, and obviously adapt his game plan for fighting AJ. This is his second chance at a world title. I guess if he fails on this one, he probably won't. You know, it'll be a long time before he gets another one. But you know, he just seems genuinely grateful for the opportunity, where others didn't take the chance. As I said, and I take my hat off to him for that. He doesn't look the best shape physically, but that can be, you know, that can be very deceiving. There's a lot of fighters out there over the years that haven't looked in the best physical shape and have shocked the world. I mean, Ali, even Muhammad Ali in the later stages of his career, when he won the world title back, you know, he was carrying extra pounds and he didn't have much muscle. He wasn't very muscular. He had a lot of loose flesh and a lot of body fat on him. And I actually believe that that's good. If you look at Tyson Fury is not muscular at all. He's got his own well documented issues with or has had his own well documented issues with weight, and he lost a hell of a lot of weight to fight Deontay Wilder. And look at the fight, look at the battle, the fight that he put up there. I know he lost technically. That's debatable as to whether you believe he should have got the decision. But anyway, what I'm saying is, you don't have to be an Adonis to be the best fighter in the world. I'm not taking nothing away from AJ. You know, he's in absolute peak physical condition, and you know what works for one guy might not necessarily work for the other, and vice versa. And that's how it is. Just to quote a few quotes from Ruiz here. I just saw an interview with him, and I just sort of took a few quotes from him. He says he's nervous but happy to take the fight, and this is his chance to make history, which indeed it is. And he says that he's gonna when he fights AJ, he said he's gonna throw combinations, and he believes that AJ has underestimated him. He feels AJ is too tall, and he fights like a robot, and that his speed and movement that he's going to bring to the fight, he says AJ will never have fought anybody like me. Other fighters tend to run in the ring and let AJ come forward. He said, but I will come forward. because he said that AJ's not great on the back foot. I think there's some truth in that. I think when AJ is when he's in control and he's ahead and he's dominating the fight powerfully, he's at his best. Whenever anybody comes back at him, as we found out, well, in fact, Dillian White rocked him, and when people come forward to him and he's fighting on the defence, I think he can look a little bit suspect. So I think if Ruiz brings his A game, and brings everything that he's got in his tool bag and takes the fight to AJ, perhaps he's got a fighting chance. My personal opinion is I don't think he's faced anybody with AJ's power, speed, and ring craft. I think the fights that AJ's had in the past are all going to stack up and count in AJ's favour. Hats off to the guy for taking the fight. You stepped up where others haven't, and they put their money first. You've put your money where your mouth is, all credit to you for that, Ruiz. But sadly, I think it's a step too far, a bridge too far, and on the 1st of June at Madison Square Garden, I predict AJ to stop Ruiz Jr. in either round 5 or round 6. That's my prediction. Hope you like this video. As I said before, I'd like the followers, so please hit the follow, subscribe button. Please give it the thumbs up. Keep watching. Make some comments below, and share. Copy and paste this link and share it amongst any of your boxing friends on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to put it. Let me get a little bit of exposure. And thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.